on?
Hey.
Yeah. So I'm new to this whole live thing. You all gonna have to bear with me. I don't know if I even see anything. I'm using a different platform, so. But we have Matt with us from DealMachine. He's gonna give a tutorial on all the cool features DealMachine uses. So
Yes, sir.
he's the go-to guru of DealMachine. Knows more about the. So I'm just going to let him take over and kind of answer questions and go through the spiel for you guys while I try to figure out where the comments are coming from and how I can access them.
Yeah, we're getting, like I was saying, we're getting our reps in. Every time we do this, we're going to get better, Paul. So it's all good. No worries. I don't know if guru is the right word. I just, I'm showing off DealMachine. I definitely can speak to it. I definitely have a good time with it and love to see like all the value we bring people. And, people, my favorite thing is when people reach out to us and talk about like, oh, they've like changed their lives because they got into real estate. They're starting to do this and, they're changing their situation. So that's the most rewarding part, at least. So thanks again for having me on. Always appreciate doing this with you, man.
I appreciate you joining, buddy.
How was your trip, by the way? Because you just got back from wasn't Pigeon Forge, right? Or
yeah, it was good. It didn't rain every day. Dollywood was horrible. Walking all day. Yeah. Well, 7 kids because my wife's little sister's 10 and she went too. So it was like it sucked. But the kids, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I was gonna say the kids have fun. That's a win in the end, So yeah. Is that I know I saw some of the stuff you were posting on social too. Is that the main reason that you got into real estate to begin with? Like, was it the family time, or curious on like what got you into
it? Family stuff. Kids always had events, and I would try to squeeze away from the dealership to go watch them. Which it's hard down the car, and you're like, "Hey, my kid has award ceremony today or something." Like, can I leave and come back?
Yeah.
Wait, like you know what I mean. So it was. Yeah. So I wanted to change that and take my time back. The financial stuff's great, but I mean I made it being not wealthy. I struggled, but if you just but it was the time. You take back your time, and
absolutely,
it's the moments that you're going to regret when you're older and the kids are grown up. So that was.
Man. Oh, for sure. And I mean, I know we talked about this. I've got a 5.5-year-old, almost 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So I'm any moment I can spend with them like that, it's, I know it goes fast. It's crazy. So,
yep.
Yeah. Do you know if it looks like we're live here. It looks like we've got people jumping in. Got one guy with 5. There you go. Love it. Not quite Paul status, but hey, you're getting there. But
I'll be here in December. My last one.
There you go. Your last one. There we go, man. I hope. Well, you're certainly having fun, man. I love seeing you post on social where you're going and what you're doing and how you're having a good time with them. So, yeah, I appreciate you having me on today. Like I always, this is the second one of these we've done. I'm always up for more of these to be just a better resource for your community and for people, jumping in and checking out more about, you helping them just sharing stuff online, saying like, hey, here's how to get into real estate. Here's how to, here's how I changed my life. So I think just a little quick intro on us about DealMachine before I jump into just showing off, everything of how we can be helpful to people. Quick spiel about us. One, I'd say DealMachine high level. If you don't know us, I'm Matt over at DealMachine. Work on partnerships over here. So team up with a lot of people like Paul here, where I can come in and just educate their audience on how to go find deals and how to get started with real estate. There we go. Can you hear me okay? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So Matt Kemp over here at DealMachine. Again, like I said, I'm love coming on, love being able to help out partners like you, Paul, where I can come on and really educate your audience on saying like, hey, here's how to go find deals. Here's how to go find off-market deals specifically, and within real estate, like the two main challenges. Like I know you talk about this as well, but the two main challenges, like, hey, find great deals and fund those deals, and we can really help people. And, and really how we've built out our technology, how we built out this tool is to help people. And no matter what situation they're in, you might be doing this as a side hustle that you really don't, you're not ready to actually like buy and hold real estate, buy and build a portfolio, but hey, you want to get started somewhere, you want to start making side income, you want to start changing your career, changing what you do every day, getting more time with the kids, more time with the family, more time with, the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the situation might be of why you want to get into real estate, whatever your why is. You can use this tool to wholesale and do that where you're selling paper like Paul is and do it with like little to no money. Or you can, build your own portfolio and build passive income and do that route too. But regardless of whatever you're planning on doing with real estate like that long term, the commonality between all those things is you got to find a great deal. It's, no matter how you're going to fund it, no matter what you're going to do with on the back end, it's, hey, if you've got a great deal, you're going to be able to find people to either sell that paper to, be able to wholesale it, or be able to raise that money and buy and hold it and build a portfolio too. It comes down to finding great deals. And, that's what our goal is to give everyone the power of real estate investing. That's our company mission, DealMachine in general. We want to give everyone the power of real estate investing. And that means make it super crazy easy to be able to go out, find deals, be able to go out, find great deals by going direct to sellers and going off market. And that's what on our end, Paul, I know I've told this before, but like even just the story of DealMachine, like how we even came about is our founder, David, he was very much, in a lot of people's shoes watching this, where he had no real estate experience. He didn't have any experience of, doing deals or even knowing where to start to begin with. He moved to Indianapolis. So he's in a Midwest market, was brand new, tried, try to get into real estate by going around and going to real estate meetups and, YouTube University, all that content was not where it was. This was 2015, 16. So, it was harder to do that stuff. He would, listen to podcasts and things like that. He'd read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He'd done stuff like that, but he wasn't as proactively going to places like this to really get knowledge and really know how to get started, especially like it wasn't as easy to do that back then. And for him, he would go to these meetups. He'd start asking people, he'd be like, hey, where do I find my first deal? Like, how do I even get into this business? I know I want to get into real estate. I know based on like reading these books and podcasts and stuff, I know this is the number one way to create generational wealth. Like I know this is something I should be doing, but where do I start? And the thing he would hear over and over and over again is, hey, you need to go direct to seller. So you need to find motivated sellers. And how you go about doing that, the number one way to do that is to find properties that have physical distress. It's, find properties that are the fixer-uppers, the ones that, they've got like a tarp on the roof, or they've got, boarded up windows, or they've got, siding falling off, or maybe a little more subtle things like this time of year, it could be overgrown grass, or, weeds growing through the concrete, or maybe it's just outdated. It's got a window AC unit, and it's a property that's clearly older and just not updated. Things like that to show, hey, for whatever reason, this property owner is just not keeping up with the condition of this property. And this is something, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Paul, too, with everyone. I know you hear, the number one thing on social media right now in terms of real estate, it's like, hey, talking about downturn or recession or, the market changing or anything like that. Being able to find properties like this, being able to go, off market. In any kind of downturn, that is an opportunity where investors are more valuable during downturns. Like they're more valuable because people are uncertain, and there's more situations that come up for people where they need to sell that property. They need to get out of that property, and you can come in and offer that solution. Like you can offer certainty, you can offer, cash, convenience, speed. You can come in and help solve problems. So in a market like this, I know that's where, hey, you have an opportunity to step up and be a problem solver for people. So I'd love to hear your perspective on it, Paul. Are you hearing that a lot? I know it depends on what market you're in, obviously, but.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask me about recession.
Mm-hmm.
2008, I know 2008, and then the market's hot. COVID happened. I made money. I can't think of any or in the medical field that you can't make money. Wholesaling, you can't, no matter what the world's like, you can still make money. people still going to sell their houses. If it happens, foreclosures will happen most likely. You're going to wholesale. I mean, so hot markets, you still find deals. A hot market, and buyers are paying more because they can't find off market deals. So, regardless, I feel like no matter what the market's like, you can wholesale and it's unstoppable unless regulations come in place. Still double close, sell the LLC, just get licensed if you want. I mean, hey, you just keep the wheels turning. I don't feel like it's ever going to slow down or stop.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I for long term, for sure. Like looking back, the number one wealth generating asset is real estate by a mile for that stuff. But I know in general, that's the thing we're trying to tell people is now is a better opportunity to create wealth than in the last decade as things slow down, because you're going to have more people that have these problems, be extremely motivated, be looking to sell, looking to move, looking to get out of that property. And you just got to find those people by going directly to the seller, by going off market, by buying right. And, that's how we're trying to educate them is, okay, that's what David started to try to do. Is David knew that when he moved to Indianapolis, he had all these friends saying, hey, go direct to seller, go look for these fixer upper properties that need love, that need care, that, the number one indicator of the motivated seller like that is a physically distressed property. So when he moved to Indy, he started to drive around, he started to look for those properties. That's when you hear driving for dollars, like that is the term there of getting in your car and physically driving all over the place. I know, Paul, you said, I know you talked about like virtual driving for dollars too. Do you have any like, thoughts or tips there or it was something that I know you've talked about as well, like virtual D for D.
Yeah, I'm having mic issues, they say, so I may have to mute here in a minute and try to figure out what's up. But virtual driver dollars is for people that live in the middle of nowhere like me. You can do it from home. I mean, it takes me 30 minutes to get to town, and they're small towns, so a lot of people have luck with the numbers game, though. The more you add to your list, the better chance you get a deal out of it. So, you don't, I mean, gas is coming down some, but fuel did shoot up there really high. So, I mean, do it. If you got an hour to sit at home on the computer and click, I mean, you can sit there and click away and build a list.
Yep. Yeah. So whether you're doing it through virtual driving for dollars, which I'll show that off here in a minute too, Paul, and feel free to hit mute as I'm happy to, walk through everything. If you're trying to figure out your mic, we'll get there. But, so you can do physical driving for dollars, real world or virtually, and I'll show off both of those options here in just a minute. But what David was doing is he was in Indianapolis. He, started driving around. He started looking for these fixer upper properties. And, the main thing about going through that is that, one, it's a proven method. It's been around forever. It's, it's something that is extremely valuable because you're going to find those properties that are the hidden gems. Like they are the properties that no one else can get easy access to because you went out there and you built your own list. Like you've built this list that no one else has, that you can't just go in and pull a list or buy that list or set a filter and export a list. And, there's all different ways to get to lower hanging fruit, to get to leads that everyone else will be fighting over because they have these, particular things in common. Whereas when you're driving around, you're looking for fixer upper properties, like you're finding houses that no one else can easily find. So you're creating a list that no one else has. You have, you're creating a list that is way less competitive, is going to take way less money. It's going to be the best bang for your buck because of that, because you're finding these hidden gems here. And David would do that. David would get out there. He'd drive around. He'd take out a piece of paper. He'd write down the address. He would look up info about that owner. He'd try to find their phone number. He tried to, send off a postcard. Like he'd, literally write one out and mail that out to them. He'd do all these different things to try to get on their radar. And it just took him forever. And he would drive around and he'd double back on his routes, and it would take him forever to find that information, that data on them. And it would take him forever to reach out to them and make sure to continue to follow up. And he realized, like, one, these are extremely high quality leads because he would drive around and he'd find these properties. And then, 6 months later, the house would be sold. But two, he realized, I need better follow-up and I need more leads because, these properties, when they sell, they're not selling to me. Like I'm missing out on these deals and I don't, I'm trying to figure out why. And for him, he realized, like, one, anytime you went on market, it was just way too competitive. Like if you went for properties that were listed already, it was too late. Two, if he would just pull a bulk list, if he would like buy a list or he would get a list from, wherever the source would be, it would take way more time and way more, money, marketing budget to get in touch with them. And then three, the follow-up was key. He needed to have more leads and more automation to follow up with them to really be able to do this right. And for him, that meant like he used his technology background. Like he actually had built tech before, like he was a coder, a programmer, and he went out there and he knew how to make mobile apps. So he made kind of V1 and he teamed up with another buddy to do this. He made V1 of what DealMachine is today. And it was way uglier. It did not look anything like it is currently. But he realized, man, there's really something to this. This is actually working. He would go out, he would just tag properties inside of it. He would pin them all within his app. He created a thing that when he pressed a button, he could take a picture of the property, press a button, and that picture would go on a postcard, and that postcard would send out to that owner, and it would say, hey, I'm interested in your property. And he would send it once a month, and he would just hit it and forget, like hit that send button and forget it. Like he wouldn't touch it and just let it once a month get in front of them. And because he would do that over and over again, pretty quickly, he built his own portfolio. He got 10 different properties that he got under contract, did extremely well with, built up over 6 figures in annual cash flow, built up over $1 million in equity, closer to $1.5 million in equity from these properties because he was going direct to seller and he was doing it at scale. Like he was putting a lot of leads in there and sending out mail and just letting the calls come in and deal with it that way. So him doing this, he realized, man, that there's really something here. Let me put this technology out there. And he had friends starting to approach him that his friends would be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, how are you landing these deals? How are you getting out there? How, they've been frustrated like he was on how they can find deals and do a better job of that. And, he put it on the App Store, started sharing it with people, made it public for them to download it. And now we've had over 200,000 downloads. We're the #1 real estate app in terms of ratings and reviews, a 4.8 out of 5. And we've had people in every single state in the US use DealMachine to land a deal. So that's really kind of a little more about us, about like the Driving for Dollars process, how David was solving his own problem. And now we have people like, yourself, but other people like Ryan Haywood is one example that I talk about a lot, where he's in Kansas City. He had no real estate experience in January of 2020. He started doing a real estate challenge where he just every single day would get out there and look for deals and start calling sellers. And now he's done over 200 deals using DealMachine. He's using our mail templates, like all the things that we have just preset inside of DealMachine. And he's got out there and he did what David did. He's built up this this massive portfolio. He's got a business now. He started off wholesaling. He transitioned that into a variety of different real estate exit strategies. He's got a team. He's got his wife doing this. He's got somebody full time that's helping him now. So it's pretty inspiring to see people like that run with it and basically use it to go from no experience to, hey, let me start finding deals, to everything falling, things fall in place when you have a great deal like that. So yeah. How are we doing on the mic, by the way? Are you able to
work?
I can hear you somewhat. I'll let me monitor the chat a little bit here too. Feel free to throw up questions, Paul. I'll go through, and I know if you're gonna try out DealMachine today, do you want to share your promo code too? Just because that's gonna be the best way for people to get a bunch of free stuff if they do it.
As I figure out how to do that.
Okay, cool. If you do DealMachine.com and then start a free trial, make sure to use Paul35, Paul 35. Sounds like people can hear you a little bit. Say good on there. Cool. So make sure you use Paul35, and that's going to get you $35 free in your account, and you get a 7-day free trial. So we want to make sure to hook you up with, hey, free trial to go out there, just try it out, start trying to find deals. $35. So that's going to cover a ton of ways for you to reach out to sellers. And I'll go through exactly how to do that here, but it's skip tracing and send mail. And that'll cover a couple hundred free skip traces and nearly 100 free mailers, some 60 or so. So you'll be able to have a ton of free stuff where, there you go, promo code Paul. So if you jump on DealMachine, use promo code Paul, that's going to be the best way to get started and just try it out and say, all right, use what you learned today, use kind of, the demo I show you, the playbook I give you right here to go out and start doing deals. And then, that promo code is going to get you the best deal possible to give you a ton of free stuff and have you start landing deals. I mean, we have people, I know one of them, his name's Quentin Flores. He was on our YouTube channel down in San Antonio. For literally the 4th lead he added on DealMachine, he called him and got a contract out of it, which that is by no means like going to happen every time. But the whole goal is like, hey, get a lot of the leads in the system, get a lot of properties on here, put yourself in front of them, make sure that they know that you're interested in buying. And it's a numbers game. It's you trying to catch the right person at the right time. And, if you are able to do that and just use technology to help you out, use technology to help you get in front of them and stay in front of them, you're putting yourself in a long-term position to consistently do your first deal and do many after that. So, awesome. Do you want to are you able to pull up my screen here, Paul, and share that so that way I can hopefully, there we go. Nice. Awesome. So I'll try to show this off, man, and feel free to jump in with questions anytime, or with, if you see good questions come in from the Q&A, I'm always happy to answer that too as we go along, man.
Okay.
Cool. So to kind of begin with, I'll show off like, hey, here's, the specific approach to take, because there's really a 3-step process we see people do that if you take the Ryan Haywoods of the world, if you take, Paul, if you take anybody who's really having success, landing off market deals, and especially if they're using DealMachine here, these are the 3 things that they're doing over and over again to be successful. So we've interviewed over 150 people right around there at this point on our YouTube channel that have all landed deals using DealMachine. The best practices I share today, it's from them. It's from people saying, here's exactly what I do. Here are the exact steps that I do to get out there. It's really a 3-step process that's in common for what they do to get out there. And I'll show this off here on on your screen right here to kind of give you specifically how to do this. So, to kind of begin with, I'll say, again, hey, driving for dollars, it's a leads, it's a numbers game. It's about, hey, getting out there, adding as many qualified leads as you can. And when I say lead, I just mean houses. I just mean properties. So add as many qualified houses, qualified properties as you possibly can to your list. And, by qualified, I mean properties that are fixer uppers. Like we talked about at the beginning of this, it's the properties that are distressed. They've got, signs of physical distress. They've got tarps on the roof, boarded up windows, gutters falling off, siding falling off, overgrown grass, overstuffed mailboxes. Even things, I like to quote this one. One of our first hires, he got his first deal using DealMachine because they had Halloween decorations up and it was like March. So things like that, where it's like, okay, for whatever reason, they're just not keeping up with the physical appearance of the property. So what you're going to do here is right when you jump into DealMachine, you can come in. There's a couple different options you can mess with. And again, I'm showing you DealMachine.com. We also have a mobile app. So whenever you go to DealMachine.com, use that promo code Paul35, you're going to start a free trial there, and it'll tell you, hey, download the mobile app too. So that way you can use the app and make sure that when you physically drive for dollars, it locks onto your location. Makes it really, really easy to use it on here. Again, highest rated mobile app out there for investors. Really proud to say that our team really, put a lot of work into that. But I would say to begin with, when you jump into the mobile app or the desktop, they sync up. So it looks very similar to this. It locks on your location. And I'm not going to do that here. I'm just at the office today, so you're not going to really be able to see many good houses if I did that. But it would lock on your location, and you'll see you as a blue dot appear on the map right here. And, within the map, you can do a couple things. You've got MLS data right here. So this is one thing I always make sure to toggle on. And you'll see these blue dots. Here's one. Here's one. When I toggle this, they disappear or come on as blue dots. That means that, that is a property that has an MLS status within the last 12 months. And MLS meaning, this is something that's been on market. This one sold. You can see more property data, sold data right here, days on market, how long, real estate agent, all of that. You can see info there. This one down here, that one's sold. That one is for sale. It's corporate owned by Open Door. So you can see, more data around if that's on market. And again, if it's on market, I don't know, Paul, do you teach any, or do you share anything about how to go on again after on market properties? Or
no, I mean, I've done a couple, but it's just easier to find off market. The way the market is right now, everything's crazy price.
Exactly, man. So I say, hey, if it's on market, I would take that off my list. I wouldn't add that for that exact reason of, they're advertising to have people come look for them and come talk to them and take offers. Whereas, if they're not on market, hey, those are the hidden gems. Those are the ones that, people have not gotten to yet. So, I would toggle that on to begin with. So that way, not to add those properties. You've also got this route tracking feature. So when I turn that on, you see this green line pop up right here. And what that means is that in the last 6 months, I've driven this way. I've driven this exact route. It'll also track your virtual driving for dollars on here too. So you'll see that come up as a way to see where you've been that way. But if it turns yellow, that means it's been 6 to 12 months. If it turns red, it's been 1 to 2 years. And this is a really good way to visually see where have you driven in that city or in that area. And you can see, okay, I've driven this neighborhood before. Let's focus on another area. Or, oh, I've driven this area, but it's been 6 months. Let's go back through it. Or been a year, it's red, go back through it. This is how David was able to save way, way, way more time, our founder, is he made an app to help him track his routes and be able to really understand, let me not double back on that. Let me not keep adding leads that are the ones that have already gone past. And it makes it way more efficient and way more effective to just cover your whole area by doing that. Now, I will mention that's a pro level feature. We have a starter, pro, and elite plan. Again, make sure to use that promo code Paul35 because that's going to get you all those free skip traces and postcards if you're going to do that. But it's a pro level feature, so you'll have to aim for our pro plan to be able to get a route tracking as something that's in your account. But again, you're going to lock onto your location. I would even, some people like to use the satellite view. When you click satellite, you'll see the actual physical properties pop up. I like to go standard for demos. At least it's a lot easier to kind of see the black dots pop up right here. But you'll see all of these black dots pop up around you. And those are each individual properties that you can click on and learn more about. You can click on and see, oh, this is owner occupied. Let me look and see, depends on your area, but it pulls in all of the county data around assessed value, equity percentage, dates sold. Let me look at this one. Click here. This one, you've got sale price. You've got assessed value. Doesn't have equity in here. Depends on what data they've put in, as a county, in terms of county records, to make sure that you're getting the full data set there. But as you go through here, you'll see, different areas where, you'll have equity percentage, assessed value show up. And you'll really be able to use this. Here you go. So you've got 70% equity. This one, it sold in 2017. So it's definitely appreciated quite a bit. Sale price, assessed value currently. It'll come through and show and let you look and see, hey, is this a property or a lead that has a lot of equity? And more equity gives you more room to work with. It gives you the more it makes a higher quality lead to go after something. And it's probably older and more likely to be a property that, could use some fixing up, could be, in shape to be able to really add value as an investor and fix it up a little bit. So what I would say is, to begin with, you've got all these black dots popping up around you. The blue dots mean MLS status or not. The blue pins. So here's an example. I'm on 1731 West Sharon. If I hit add lead, you'll see it pop up as a blue pin now. So that blue pin just means that it's a lead in my system. It's a lead, added to my list to be able to follow up on. And that's where, as you're driving around, you're in the mobile app, you can, lock on your location, look around at properties. If you see one that could use some help, boom, hit add lead, that pin drops right in there. And both where it is on the map and, I'll get into the leads tab here in just a minute. And, that's where it's going to really show you, hey, this is a lead that you're able to follow up with from there. And your whole goal with this is to build this super high quality list of leads, because they're physically distressed properties. They're properties that, are fixer uppers. They need help. It means it's the number one indicator of a potentially motivated seller. So your whole goal is to look for these and create this list of leads that you're ready to then follow up with. So step one is literally getting out there. It's driving. It's finding this list of properties. It's creating this list of leads. We see, and let me click on the lead really quick. We see when you hit 100 leads, that is really the tipping point of what we can see is going to be somebody long term that lands deals that continues beyond that first 100 leads. And the 100 leads point, it depends on your market. I mean, it depends where you're investing, depends on, how competitive your market is. If you're in a Phoenix, like I am with this map right here, it's going to need to be, significantly more than that to be able, because it's extremely competitive there. If you're in St. Louis in the Midwest, you might have your first deal in those first 100 leads. But the thing is, with, regardless of if your first deal is going to be in those first 100 leads or not, that's the point where we see, hey, you've built really good habits. You're getting out there, you're building momentum, you're creating this list of leads. You know how to drive for dollars now. Like, that is the tipping point when we look at the data of people that stick around, stick with this, and follow up with enough motivated sellers that they do that first deal and keep going. And the thing is too, when you do that first deal, all of the time, the effort, the marketing dollars, the technology, all that pays for itself at 10 plus times over, and you're excited, you're hooked, you're like ready to get out there and do the next one. So there we go. Can multiple drivers be on one account and in different locations? Yes, Matthew. So you've got within DealMachine, you have our starter plan here. Let me just pull this up here. Pricing, so you can see this really quick. So you've got, this is for annual, here's monthly. Our starter plan, you've got one extra driver. Our pro plan, you get 2, and our elite plan, you get unlimited. So that, again, pro plan, the main thing is your route tracking. Elite, your main thing is you're going to add a whole team of drivers. But what you can do is you personally can drive, and you can add other people to your account to go drive in different areas. So when I say get to that first 100 leads, that means collectively as a team, let's get out there, let's drive, let's add leads to be able to get to that threshold. Especially if you have other drivers getting out there. One really big pro tip that I tell people of how to go pick an area to drive is, like, one, drive your own neighborhood. Like, start there. Just don't make any excuses to go find an area to drive. Just start driving is first and foremost. But the secondary, the kind of the next level up, if you want to be really good at, really more effective at this, I would say use data to really pick where you're going to go drive. And that's what this highlight button is. This highlight button right here is you can go in here and you can actually create a highlight. And Paul, do you have any like specifics that you teach people in terms of what to look for when it comes to data within a property, like equity or year built or anything like that? Oh no, I lost your mic.
It's because I had it turned off.
That'll do it.
I have TikTok on my phone. But high equity, absentee owner.
Yep. What was the last one? Absentee, high equity, what?
Just typical list. Any
Okay.
or anything like that on it.
Okay, so great example, high equity absentee owner. So if you go into highlights right here, you can type in absentee, or you can type in here. Let me go back a step. You click the highlight button. So highlights, create a highlight. We also have a bunch of quick list stuff right here, so you can just go after that as well, and make it real easy. But if you want to get a little more advanced, you can say, okay, owner type absentee, cool, confirm. I'm going to say absent. How do you even spell that? Absentee, high equity. So cool. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say and equity percent. We'll call it, greater than 50. Call it that. Confirm. And then I'll even go one step further and I'll say property type. I can type and say single family. Cool. We've got all high equity, single family, absentee, boom, absent, single family home. Let's save it. All right. And then apply those filters. And you'll see these highlights start to pop up. You'll see, hey, these are all properties that fit that filter. You've got 8 right here. Let me zoom out and try to see if I can find any more. So you can see them start to pop up like this. And when you do that, you can look and see, oh, this block's got a couple on here. This block's got a couple on here. This will help you. Really
Karma works. Now, you don't need a real estate license to do this unless you live in Oklahoma or Illinois. Then you would have to double close.
Nice. Okay. Oh, your mic's still on, by the way. Just a heads up. Yeah, so this highlights feature right here, this will show you different areas to go out and pick how to drive. So, or where to drive, sorry. So if you do that a little bit here, this will help you figure out, okay, I've got some good areas to go around here. Great. Maybe you want to do an even broader filter, so that way you can really look at whole neighborhoods. And let me see highlights and just say, absentee, cool, really, really broad. All right, you'll see them start to pop up a little bit more and say, hey, yeah, this whole area looks pretty good. So use that as a little bit of a guide to tell you, hey, let me start driving around. Let me start looking for these properties that fit this highlight, because I know first and foremost that this highlight is going to really help me understand areas that are qualified leads, because they're leads that fit a particular filter. And again, the number one thing you want to look for is physical distress. Like, again, the physical distress is what's going to give you the number one motivator or number one indicator of a motivated seller. But if it's physically distressed and it fits this other criteria that you're putting in there, then man, you can know this is a really high quality lead to begin with. This is a lead that's going to be one that I want to make sure I spend my time on, make sure I follow up with. So I start there. Paul, I want to show off really quick too, our virtual driving for dollars. Like, I think that's something that I know you've talked about it quite a bit in the past too, but it's something that's a really cool and just like fun feature, and something that if you're in a market that you're not going to invest in, then hey, this is something that is another option for you if you can't physically drive an area, or you don't have another driver to really physically go in that area. Good question by Zach. Let me answer this really quick first. So before I get into virtual, how does this compare to Propstream? We get that question all the time. Many people use this in tandem with Propstream even. I mean, they've got like a D4D function. We have a list builder function. Our list builder is really, really solid too. But I would say probably our main differentiators, like one, if you just want to look at the numbers, we talk all the time, we're the highest rated and most reviewed app in real estate investing. So we're a 4.8 out of 5 on the App Store, Google Play Store, all that stuff. So that first and foremost, I think just looking at that as statistical proof of, hey, we're we have the most people talking about us on that, and also rating us highly there. So that I think that 1A is what we point to. Outside of that, we're mobile first, so we're very focused on being mobile friendly, and that's what lends to our Driving for Dollars app. Like why our Driving for Dollars is so strong is because you can really easily add drivers, scale this this strategy, make it real easy to get in there and start adding leads and start getting in touch with people, and everything that we do is optimized for mobile first. And then in general, I think our simplicity and usability, like our ability to have great support, our ability to be constantly updating the app. You'll see if you compare our updates versus any other app out there, we're doing major updates at once every 1 to 2 weeks, like new features, new stuff. Like one example, let me see if this is live. It's about to go live. If not, we have, here we go. There, it's already live. We have MLS photos. This is brand new. So have you seen this yet, Paul?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The MLS photos? You're good.
No, I haven't seen those. I haven't.
Yeah. This is brand new, man. This is something we just launched. So this is here's an example of like every 1 to 2 weeks, we're putting out big stuff like this, where now you can see this is really major for when you do comps, which unfortunately I don't have the comps, unlocked right here, but our comps tool, you can click on that and click into photos and see right away, what's the condition of this property that just sold, and make sure you do really accurate comps like that. So
you have video issues, buddy. Like your video disappeared.
Oh no. Can you hear me okay still?
Yeah, I thought it was just my screen. Like we see your computer screen, but we don't see you no more.
Shoot. Okay. Well, let me. I'll finish up this demo, and then I'll try to mess with the camera. Maybe it went out of battery or something. I'll have to look. But yeah, we're like I said, we're getting better and better at this tech thing, man. We'll figure it out. One day we'll have a real smooth live stream, and it'll be great. So yeah, so I think our support, our simplicity, our mobile first, our ratings and reviews, and how much we're updating the app, all those are factors of what makes this very unique in the space. But hope that answers your question. So let me show off virtual driving for dollars. So here's an example. When you click the top right corner, let me do that again for you. Start driving up here. Then you can go to anywhere on the map, click start driving, and here's an alternative. Like if you don't want to physically drive, do this. start clicking for cash, clicking for dollars here, driving around going, and you can look. Oh, let me enlarge this for you. You can see right away inside the DealMachine app, you can see properties. You've got, some nice solar panels going on right here. Nice. Let me click on this. I can see the condition of the property, and you can use this as a way to jump around and even look in different parts of the town and like say, hey, let me click here and I can jump over and, virtually D4D over here. And I would say one big pro tip for this is you want to make sure that the picture was taken probably a little more recent than this. This is March 2019. I would say most places that you jump in and do this for, you'd be surprised. Like Google Ads, they're adding, updating these street images constantly. So most places you look, it's probably going to be within the last year or two. Which I'd say if this is 2022, you're definitely in the clear. For using it to kind of judge the condition of properties. I would click on this and look at last sale date too, so you can see, if this picture was taken in 2021 and then the sale date's 2022. Okay, that this has changed hands, and I would disqualify leads that way. But again, step one out of the 3 steps is just adding great leads and adding at least 100 of them. Like here's a great example: weeds growing through the grass, owner occupied. It's got some good equity in it. Last sale date is October 2019. So this was March 2019. So this has changed hands. So somebody might have done this already and drove for dollars and beat us to it. But if it had not been a sale date like that, I would say this is a great lead to be able to add and reach out to. Like look at all that overgrown grass right here. So I'd say whether you're D4D or virtual D4D is a great way to go about adding properties. The other option within DealMachine, this is more like Propstream-ish, would be our list builder. And if you click on list builder up here, it jumps you right into that. So you can go in, just go, and we save that, or we can create a filter right here so we can jump in. All right, high equity. Let's see, equity, if I can type, equity percent, greater than, actually, let's do free and clear. So it's greater than 100 or greater than or equal to 100. Cool. So you've got 100% equity. You've got property type is, if I can type it here, property type, single family. Cool. And let's just look at absentee. I like that. Owner type. All right. Absentee. Oh, sorry. Owner type. If I can type it in. Absentee. Cool. So you've got 100% equity, property type absentee, or let me mess with this here. Equity percent. Let's see, is greater than or equal to 100. All right, and I'm going to look at city of St. Louis. Cool, and it'll load count here. And you'll come in and you'll be able to see right as it goes exactly how many properties pop up that land under that particular, under that particular filter. So let me mess with this here. So you've got, let me get a little more niche. So zip code, city. All right, there we go. And you can simply just go from there, use that to filter it out, build list right on the spot, and there you go. So again, the whole point with this is, driving for dollars or list builder, you want to find a good amount of leads that are going to really fit, your criteria. The number one thing I'm talking about is, or that we see is the number one indicator of motivated sellers is physical distress. So that's why driving for dollars is so helpful there. And, once you've done that, step 2 here, Paul, I'll jump into the leads list right here. So you've gone around, you've driven for dollars, you've added at least 100 leads. Step 2 is to jump into that individual lead and start marketing to that lead. Start getting in front of that potentially motivated seller. And really the 2 ways to go about doing that, I would say, one, you've got skip tracing, and 2, you've got start mail. Which do you really lean one way or another, Paul? I know. What are all the ways that you're really going out and marketing to sellers currently?
How do I market to sellers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what are your main things that you're doing that you're seeing success with right now?
I mean, sellers come to me from what I know for that I can't teach nobody. So it's my $0 method. I've been doing it since 2010 when I flipped cars. I don't do text blasts or cold calls or driving for dollars, but not everybody does what I do, and I can't explain it to everybody. So I know it sucks, guys. I'm sorry, but that's just my situation. So driving for dollars and stuff like that is what I recommend because that's the best leads. They're better than buying them. A lead list is a numbers game. I mean, you go buy 5,000 leads and hope you get a deal or two out of it, and go through text blast, cold calling. And you don't know if it's old data or not. I mean, there's a lot of old data. So if you go and do driving for dollars, you have a better chance. You can a house in person.
Yep. And when you go through that, like you said, Paul, I mean, I love those tips there. Kind of the main two ways that you're taking, those driving for dollars leads and able to really reach out to them is, like I mentioned, skip trace and start mail. And really our most successful investors, they're doing a combo of those two things. They're getting out there, they're skip tracing because they want to have some kind of quick feedback loop. So they can use that to either call, text, email, and then they're sending mail to have a long-term kind of nurture strategy, like a long-term strategy to consistently get in touch with people. And I'll show you that in a minute, but whenever you skip trace, you'll see right away, like I've got a bunch of email addresses pop up. I've got a bunch of, couple mailing addresses, and I've got a ton of phone numbers here. Usually you're going to see, I'd say on average, somewhere from like 3 to 5. This one's got 14, but what it's going to show you is you've got, kind of premium data here. So you can show you, hey, is this disconnected? Is it on the do not call list? Is it, a landline? Is it mobile? What's the caller ID? It'll give you a lot of information about these property owners. And that way you can go in here and right away try to look for the ones that fit the right caller ID that fit, or a similar caller ID that fit mobile, that, can really show you like, hey, here, and here you go. You'll see, some come back with 14. You'll see some come back, and this one's corporate owned. So that skip trace did not go through. Let me look here. Owner occupied, got a couple of them coming through. But as I skip trace these, one off, I know if you're using Paul's promo code, so Paul 35, that's where you're going to get 250 skip traces for free. Like that's where you're going to be able to get a 7-day free trial of DealMachine, be able to get free skip traces to make sure that you're able to use this technology and use this whole system, and you'd be able to look up people for free and build momentum for free and start to hopefully land that first deal for free that way. But when you click in, you can skip trace right away. You see 4 phone numbers pop up. You can see, hey, this caller ID matches, it's mobile, it's connected. All right, that's a great place to start for Greg. So use that as a way to reach out to people. And then in tandem, like I mentioned, the second thing that people are doing, they're hitting start mail right here. And this is where, I know at the beginning of the call, we talked about Ryan Haywood being one example. Like this is where he's really killing it on his outreach, as he's, started in 2020, January, with no experience in real estate investing. He's now done over 200 deals using DealMachine. And, how he's done that is primarily through these mailers. And what he'll do is when you hit start mail, it'll automatically go out and say, hey, every 21 days, it's going to be sending this postcard to that individual. You can go in, you can view the postcard. You can change things, like, for example, if you take a picture of the property as you drive by it, that picture is going to show up on the property right here instead of that street picture. So it's going to show up right there for you with a picture of the actual house. You can go in here and change the mailer, so that way you can use different templates, different stuff, to email or to send direct postcards to them that look differently. You can go in here and change it so that way you even have handwritten letters sending out. You can go in and do a handwritten font, based on that individual postcard right here. So you can go in and get really, really specific on these postcards, on ones that are sending. Let me pause this mail because I don't want to actually send it out to Greg here, but you're able to go in and get and do multiple things between the skip trace, which is like that short-term outreach of immediately getting feedback, and then mailers to be able to really over time just stay top of mind with that individual. And so that way, you're the one that they think of when the timing is right, because you found properties that give you the highest chance of being a motivated seller. You found properties that, are physically distressed. And now the goal is just to be the one that, when the time's right, when they're looking to sell, when they're ready to actually reach out to somebody to sell that property, they think of you because you've been getting, they've been getting your mail the whole time. So. Cool. That's step 2. Any questions coming through, Paul, that I can answer right now? And I don't want to run too long on you guys.
No, everybody's kind of helping each other. Nothing as specific to DealMachine.
Okay,
Just
awesome.
Some wholesaling questions so far.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, and really, again, I want to recap this for people. It's step 1 is, building a list of leads, driving for dollars, going out there, find rundown properties, add at least 100 to your list. Use the highlights feature if you can to be able to really pick a good area and really get out there and look for leads that are really, really high quality. Step 2 is to then skip trace and mail those property owners. So that way you're really getting in front of them and asking, hey, are you interested in selling? And, the mail is really key because it keeps that follow-up going. You can set it and forget it when you hit start mail, and it's going to just send mailers to them once a month. And that way, they think of you when the time is right. You're staying top of mind with them. And then step 3 is to really focus on managing your leads. It's to really focus on staying top of mind. It's coming in here. We actually, a lot of people use this as essentially a CRM, so like a customer relationship management tool, where each individual property owner, when you actually hit skip trace, you'll see this activity pop up on their feed. You'll see, hey, yeah, I skip traced them on August 1st and at 4:59. You can come in here, and if you called them, you can add a note and say, hey, I gave them a call. And let me see if I can actually type. Post that note. All right. Or, if you want to actually follow up with them, you can add a task and say, follow up today with a call. Assign to myself. All right, I'm going to do that on Friday. All right, cool. Create that task for myself. And boom, now, you can see all this activity show up on this individual property. And that way, whenever they do call you back or whenever you do win a deal, you can look back and see, what did I do to really win that deal? Like, what are the things that I've been doing to stay top of mind with people and to really, manage my leads and really be able to follow up with people effectively. And the riches are in the follow-up. Like, the riches are in staying top of mind with people and being the one that you put yourself in the right position to get that call back, to have people, think of you when the timing's right. So, that's really the 3-step process, man. Like I said, we've had hundreds of people we've interviewed on, 150 plus on our YouTube channel, but hundreds overall that have given us these steps and say, here's what's working. Here's how people are getting out there. Here's how they're using DealMachine. I saw somebody ask it. We don't have Canadian data. I do know there's plenty of people in Canada that will use this and do virtual driving for dollars. So they'll click on this, they'll click, drive, and they'll literally click for dollars and look for houses like this from Canada and invest that way. So, or they'll hire a driver and add them to their DealMachine account and let them drive around in an area and use DealMachine that way to look for properties. So you can do it from Canada. It's just, we don't have Canadian data. So you'll be investing in the US. No government list. So you can do corporate skip tracing. You can do, let's see, if you go to list builder as well, you can look for creating a filter, and then you've got, weird and unusual property type. So you've got all kinds of different property types in here, which, you can go do government vacant land, government public use, government administrative office. So there's ways to filter out and find lists of government properties inside DealMachine, but most people are using it for a single family home that are owned by a civilian. So driving or virtual driving. So I always default to physical driving. That being said, virtual can definitely work. We see plenty of people using virtual, but I default to physical just because it's the most updated picture. It's the most updated, condition of that property. But that being said, if you do go on the map and you click around and you look for areas that have, that have been a recent picture, taken within the last year or two, you can still do a really, really solid job. Let me check over here. A really, really solid job of finding properties that, let's try it down here. So, you can look and do a really, really solid job of finding properties that fit, your particular, a recent picture. So you can see here's March 2021 for this area. So maybe this area I would stick to, in this example, but Virtual D4D, that's the caveat, is you want to look for properties that were, taken at the right time. Those pictures. One thing I do want to say, Paul, and if you want to throw this in, on the label too, for everyone that's on there, I mean, like you're able to use that kind of 3-step process to really set yourself up for success. So we want to give people a deal that basically, hey, you won't find this on our website. This is something that helps you really take massive action. If you're ready to invest in yourself, because it's committing to 12 months of going out to use this. But if you're really ready to take the 3 steps that you learned today of building a list, marketing that list and managing that list to stay top of mind, and you want to use that proven process and use technology to really get out there and do it, if you do DealMachine.com/TikTok So I don't know if you can throw that in the chat, Paul. I don't think I have the ability to do that here. But it's just DealMachine.com/TikTok That's actually going to be an amazing overall value. Like if you're ready to fully commit, that would be over 50% off our normal value on the DealMachine website. And that would be, you get 12 months of driving for dollars. It's less than $100 a month. That would be dedicated onboarding calls. You get driving for dollars, MLS data, virtual driving for dollars. You get a driver that you can add to your account. You get all those free dollars that are free marketing credits. You get our MLS tool, or MLS comps tool, like our comping tool. You get all that stuff to really help you start building momentum, and that'll snowball from there. So if you really want to start fast, really commit and say, hey, this year I'm going to do a deal, or I'm going to start doing deals, do multiple, then that's the best way to do it without going through our website. Like, go through there, you're going to get a way better deal. So I wanted to share that with people as well. Obviously, you can try us out for free if you just do Paul35 as a promo code. But if you're ready to really invest, that's the best way to go. So, and apologies that my camera cut out. I haven't figured that one out yet. So
you're good.
I'm happy to stick around for a few more minutes if people have questions. But yeah, man, I'm happy to, always love coming on. Always love interacting with your people. We've got a couple questions coming in, so I'm happy to help out here. Let's see, ideal market size, population. Do you have any tips on like market size or population for a particular city?
Oh no, me. I do deals anywhere as small as 6,000 in a county. So I don't. To me, I feel like you can do deal anywhere if it's a numbers game. I've done it out of BF and on cash buyers. So if the numbers are right, get them cheap enough, you'll find a buyer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Is like the particular areas that have less competition, if they're going to be smaller markets like that, it's going to take less leads to get to that first deal. So I know I said like 100 leads is 100, adding 100 properties is going to give you on average like that tipping point of being able to go out and really go land the first deal, be able to get out there and stick with this. I know, in general, getting that first 100 leads, that could actually get you the first deal in a smaller market. Like, it's going to be less competitive there than it would be in like a Phoenix or somewhere else. So smaller markets definitely can work, man. Nice. And again, like that TikTok Paul URL right there, that's if you're ready to like fully commit, you're saying, hey, I'm doing a deal this year. That's a 12-month deal for DealMachine. So you're paying for 12 months of driving for dollars, but you're going to get the best deal going through that, versus like our website or any other like public link. Otherwise, hey, go, you can try us out for that 7-day free trial. 7 days free. You get a ton of free skip traces, ton of free mailers. We just want to give you guys the tools to get out there and go land that first deal. Hopefully you can take away this playbook today of going out, building the list, marketing the list, following up properly with that list, and, use that. Like, that is what people are doing over and over again to land deals. So, feel free to use me as a resource too. I'm just Matt@DealMachine.com is my email. Feel free to reach out to me, and, happy to help.
Anybody got anything? If not, we're going to get off here because I know Matt's a busy guy.
The 7-day free deal. Someone's asking on that too. Yeah. So if you want to throw that promo code back up too, man, that'll help people get started. All right. And next time I will make sure that my camera is good to go. It looked great for the first 45 minutes, hopefully, or however long, but
it's all right. I had lots of issues too. It happened.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, this will be uploaded on YouTube. As soon as I get the recording, I'll just throw it up as a YouTube live record, and it'll be on my YouTube. So you guys can watch all the screw ups that I had, and Matt's camera stopped working. Next one, the third time's the charm.
All good, dude. I have a good time with you guys, so no worries. And I'm for future ones too. I mean, I'm always happy to talk about building a driving team, or pulling lists, or variety of different stuff. But this is really like the 101, where to start, where to do that first deal for the cheap, biggest bang for your buck. Like, get out there and drive for dollars like that.
Yep, this is it helps a lot of people when they see it coming from somebody from the company. So I can only explain so much so many times.
Fair. Yeah, we're always putting out new stuff, so I'm always happy to give the pro tips of like, hey, here's what's working, here's what's working. So.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around and doing with everything. So we'll do this. Try to do it like once a month or so until Matt's tired of me. So
yeah, that won't happen. Don't worry.
All right, guys. Well, thanks, Matt. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. Have a great week, everybody, and let me know how else can help. And happy deal finding.
Well, see y'all. Thanks.